Interesting messages across. Maybe each one of you could just give us a sense of kind of what you saw happening with your film, and then also kind of a little bit about you, how you spend your time, and what brought you here today. So, Kweli, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm Kweli from my film was still. With that, I was focusing on the idea of Black womanhood and really exploring what that meant to me and to other young women today. You put a lot out there. I can't remember.
And so maybe you could just tell us a little bit about you as a filmmaker, what kind of brought you to creating this piece.
Yeah, so I recently graduated from their film department. So as a filmmaker, I'm constantly exploring these ideas of identity and focusing on myself. So along with that, I also tend to play around a lot with chemical processes. So that film was shot on 16mm, and to complement the topics that I was researching, I tried to use chemical processes that would mimic the effects. And I try to play around with that in all of my films.
Nice. Nikkea?
I'm Nikkea Sharee. I am the producer for Hostile. That is based off of my 17th book, Hostile, which is a part of an anthology. I did alongside two other Richmond authors, one by the name of Iris Bowling, who I produced her book-to-film series called The Heart. That was a television show on CW and Fox Richmond. And then Loretta R. Walls. And we did the book off of 3 different heroes, military, fireman, and mine was a hostage negotiator. And the entire proceeds from that book went to children in the Richmond area. We were able to send 2 young girls with scholarships for college this year off of the proceeds of the book. So my editor is also my sister, and she and I developed a film company, Quality Legacy, and she decided that Hostile would be the perfect fit for our first story. So from there we have another short film, we have 2 music video, another one that we're filming in October, and a couple other things that we're working on. So it's wonderful. As far as Hostile is concerned, it's just one of those things where I wanted to, in all of my books, I look to stretch the imagination of my readers. So I wanted to do the same thing with the film. I'm hoping that the way that you felt in the beginning will be different from the way that you felt at the end. So I, of course, touched on a very taboo subject, but I wanted to have a very interesting look on that topic and see, how would that character feel in those situations? Not how I would feel, like what would they do? What would their feelings be? What would their, would they be withdrawn? Would they, would it draw someone that's not about that story to those characters in particular? So we filmed this here in Richmond a week in March, and it's been great ever since.
Sharad?
I'm Sharad. I shot Stella. Stella was pretty much just my take on how women react to certain situations, like in relationships. That's pretty much it. But it took about 12 hours to shoot, and I had like a full crew. I'm also the DP, director, editor. The only thing I didn't do was lighting, pretty much. I also had a casting director.
And could you tell us just a little bit about you as a creative?
I'm from Richmond. I went to school in Florida called Full Sail. Does anybody know Full Sail? Yeah, so I went there for recording arts, and from recording arts, I kind of fell in love with film. From recording music and people needing like music videos, and yeah, those just turned out bad, and I wanted to progress. So that's how I got into film.
All right. So I'll start off with just 1 or 2 questions, but I want to definitely invite the audience to ask a few questions as well. So you guys all film these and sort of have either in Richmond or have Richmond as an influence in your creation. Could you guys speak just to how you feel the creative community has either embraced you or has influenced you in Richmond to create the work you're doing? Do you see Richmond as a good place to kind of continue your careers or exploration of film maybe we could just run down the line.
Well, Richmond had an impact on me because I'm originally from New York. So when I came down here, it was a huge shift, not just socially, but culturally, and just adjusting to that made me really question my sense of self. So I feel like that's the impact Richmond had on me as a filmmaker. And right now I'm not continuing my creative practice in Richmond just because recent graduate and trying to work on other stuff. But I do see myself eventually returning to Richmond in the future.
Well, I've been here since 1999. I just love Richmond. It's my second home. I guess you can call it my first home now, but I'm also from up north. And since being in Richmond, my husband and I have a thing where we say, you know, if you can't find something to do in Richmond, you just want to be bored. So, you know, Richmond has so much to do, has so much going on, has so much to offer. You know, we have a lot of talent in Richmond. A lot of the actors that I use were from Richmond. Our crew, I had people that just came out on the strength of love. Just, you know, they didn't want anything but to help. If it was sweeping the broom or, you know, putting on a police uniform or whatever, I just want to be a part of what you're doing. So that's one of the things that you can't buy anywhere. So, you know, Richmond has that feel of homegrown support. Just want to do whatever they have to do to help you reach your next goal, your next step. So I feel like I'll always be connected here, and I try to do as many projects as I can at home. I actually was screening yesterday in North Carolina, and I was supposed to be there today, but when I got the call for Afrikana, I rode overnight and made sure that I was here. I said, you know, Richmond is home. So if it's between from being away from home and coming home and you know, doing what I love here, I'm always going to choose home.
So I definitely feel like Richmond embraces art, and I'm originally from Richmond, so I've seen like the whole transformation from what Richmond used to be to like the art culture that it has now, and I just feel like right now is a great time to be creative. So many people that you can work with, and yeah, I just think that it's a great place to be for art.
Absolutely. So Afrikana, the film festival, is centered around focusing on film that's created by people of color. And so, you know, we see that we're in the midst of even like a show here that really speaks to what's happening in the world of people of color and kind of how our country is, and our world is talking about race, politics, etc. And creativity, film specifically, has a powerful role in that, right? You know, the images that we see this very clearly in your work, Abelia. The images that we see influence how we react to the world and what surrounds us. You know, if we only have the tropes of African Americans as the rapper, or like, you know, the strong black woman, or, you know, these things, then if those folks aren't in your life, and maybe your closest people are not people of color, then you might think that's what black folks are like. And so the images that we surround ourselves with and the stories we surround ourselves with are very important to understanding who we all are. Do you guys see yourself as playing a role in that narrative, or just as you know, black creatives, as kind of taking up a piece of that sort of important role of art and film?
Yeah.
Can you speak to it? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I mean, I agree. I feel like regardless of what type of film I make, I would make it a point to have actresses and actors of color represented in my work, telling not a generalized story, but maybe a unique story that one African immigrants and a person of color, but don't even a person of color could have that story. So definitely.
Yeah.
I have to agree. One of the things that we at Kweli Legacy try to really enforce is just the ability to do what it is that you want to do without any type of restraints. So one of the selections, and we actually won Best Romantic Comedy for our other film, The Call, for the Top Indie Festival and the Women Empowerment Festival. And the main reason that we won the Women's Empowerment Festival is because our entire creative staff is all black women. So from the director to the producer, myself, the cinematographer, and the assistant director, sound, everything, you know, it was fun to create a film where everyone was women and women of color. And we wanted to show as much as possible that you can hold the movie too. You know, you can be behind the camera. You can, you know, it's not one type of thing that we have to do, what we have to say, we have to see. So by showcasing who we are in front of the lens, behind the lens, and broadcasting that to the world as we share it with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And those are the type of images that are absolutely necessary for young girls and young boys and whoever to be able to see and get inspired from that, to say, okay, maybe I don't have to do just this or just that. I can step outside the box and be whoever it is I want to be. I can do whatever it is I want to do simply because I want to put my mind to that.
Absolutely.
I agree also. My full crew was all black people, and that was the most important thing for me, is pretty much what she said, showing them that, you know, you can do this and you don't just have to be a rapper, or, you know, like you said, even though I used one white female inside of my film, it's more so for the imagery and not like the message. The message still revolves around like issues of relationships, and you know, relationships aren't really something that is based on race. So yeah.
Cool. So I want to open it up to anybody else who has any questions or comments or thoughts about the particular films or content therein.
Got a question.
Yes.
No further. You gonna do anything about black men?
Say that again?
Are you gonna do any films about black men? I see the sister, she brought a point about the woman aspect. I was wondering, is there anything coming along to show about black men as aspect?
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I get DMs all the time about doing certain films, but I have to get the right one, you know, because I feel like a lot of people are opportunists. They see a lane and they want to just do it because of that. It just has to be right, in my opinion.
Got a question here?
Yeah, I just give you guys a round of applause for excellent work. Are we going to be able to see these films or have links to the films? Like, you know, I'm just talking about kind of being able to see them again.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you a link to
Same. Currently, I have it up on Vimeo, but it's password protected, so with it going through the film festival circuit, so I can definitely share that with you.
Okay. It's good to be able to, you know, tell everybody else about the work. Right?
For my films, QualiLegacy.com. That's Kweli, like Tyler Kweli. And of course, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Nikkea Sharee, Nikkea, and SHARE, as in your programs. I share a lot of information there, but all of my both films are available for rent and to buy on our website.
Actually, a comment from you, I just really love what you're doing with the chemical processes. Like, it was really apparent that you were using a lot of like darker tones and like deeper colors, and just like how the film came together. Like hearing, like notice that, you know, and then like hearing you talk about the work that was behind it, was just really cool. And I would like to probably learn more about like what kind of chemicals you use, like that kind of stuff. So I like it.
Questions, comments?
I didn't do the screen Afrikana.
And so, you know, I woke up at the middle of the night with the email and I could not go back to sleep. I was like, oh my God. Because, you know, I mean, different people have different goals, but I would tell you personally for me that, you know, this was my target. Was to be Afrikana, not because I know you, but because I see, you know, Afrikana to me is my Sundance, is my Tribeca, you know, is my cons. I respect what you do, you know, I follow the movement, I share as much as I possibly can. And, you know, I've been to plenty of Afrikana events, as many as I can when I get off work. But, but you know, this is something that's needed, and I appreciate the fact that you're continuing in our community and thought to include us, because, you know, I'm a film buff myself, and I love just sitting in the audience watching other people's work, and that inspires. That alone is like, okay, I can reach out and touch these people, I can talk to these people, you know, and again, I can do that too. So thank you for having it. So.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I guess I'd like to know if you can like put it in like a short sense, how, like, what was the one moment that inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Anyone else want to go first?
For me, it was family. My sister is currently in LA Film School, and I have 18 books in total. She's my editor. Her name is Nikkea, also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And she, when she edited this book, Hostile, she sent the book back with the script for the film. My whole thought was, I'm going to do this for my family. So, you know, for my sister, I wanted to encourage her goals and her dreams. So from that point, it was just like, you know, we're going to do this. And so, yeah, that's it.
For me, it was music. I actually came up with the film while listening to James Blake. And it's a song called, I think, Overgrown. And yeah, he was just talking about constellation, and that's pretty much where the name Stella comes from. Talking about the stars and how the stars used to guide people to different paths. So, yeah.
What really inspired me to go into film was my older sisters. Like, they were really into TV and music videos. Like, when I was younger, they would like record the BET and VH1 on VHS tapes just so we could watch them later. And I really loved the craftsmanship and like how much fun people would go into having fun with music videos. And then I kind of picked up the video camera and tried to do it myself.
To piggyback on Monty's question, implicit in making film is that you want people to see. You want to put that thing out there. You want as many eyeballs on it as possible. It feels like there are thousands of platforms these days, from Hulu to Amazon to Netflix to whatever. Does the multiplicity of the platforms that I feel like I see work in terms of your ability to get your films out there? Does the process of getting people to see your films feel as seamless as it feels for somebody who's watching today?
Yes and no. Because there's so many, you kind of have to keep up with all of them, and on some of them you're more popular. So you can kind of, I don't know what word to use. You can kind of cross-advertise, if you will. So say I have like a great following on Instagram, I will use my Instagram following to send people to my YouTube channel. And that's pretty much the only way that I know to do things, because like you said, there are so many.
And and then speaking of distribution, as far as traditionally Hulu and Amazon, some of the things that a lot of people don't know is that there are a lot of restrictions that come with trying to get on those platforms. So, for example, one thing, we're looking at iTunes, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna put on iTunes, we're gonna put on Amazon, we're gonna do all this. But with iTunes, as an independent filmmaker, you need 100 films. So, and then with Amazon, you can put it on there, but they have restrictions as far as the closed caption. And we have the closed caption, in the film, but for whatever reason, it kept rebuffing, it wouldn't take it. So let's look at something else. And then you got, your Netflix and your Hulu, and they go through this particular channel as far as distribution goes. So, and this is something that I've been dealing with the other productions I've done as well, such as Heart and now with my films. So I kind of already was I was hip to the game. So I knew that there were going to be some roadblocks, but I wasn't going to let that deter me. So, in that effort, okay, well, what's a platform that we can do where we can kind of generate some type of income so that we can continue to do films? And that's when we found Gumroad, which is a streaming company that allows us to put the film on there and people can rent or buy. It has the same platform, same quality as your Amazon, your iTunes, what have you.
What was that again?
Gumroad. Gum like a chewing. Yes. Gumroad. So what we do is we have it on our website, and then when people click to buy it, takes them to Gumroad so that they can download it. Then you can either rent it for 3 days or you can own it for life. But it allows us to have a very affordable platform versus having to do a DVD with short films. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's pointless to put it on DVD, but it costs a lot. You have mastering that you have to do. There's, additional engineering work that goes behind the scenes. And as an independent filmmaker, we have, I like to call, we have grassroots budgets, right? So we're doing things that, we're not on a Hollywood budget. We don't have a big, things. And a lot of times, we may not want to do the GoFundMe or the Indiegogo because we just kind of want to keep things personal, private, but we still want to have that quality. We still want to do things. So those are the, type of roles that as a filmmaker, independent artist, you go through the trial and error. So yes, it can be, his yes and no is absolutely correct. You can get it out there, but you have to have confidence in your work that you're going to make it happen, and you find the avenue and you work that avenue to your benefit. So definitely Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is like a lifesaver because you can drop everybody to your one-stop shop, which is make sure you have a professional website. So that people should be able to go to your website, maybe sign up an email, keep up with your website so that they know what you have going on, even if you're not on, the Amazons or what have you. You drive the traffic to where you are.
Yeah, in terms of distribution, I think it's also knowing your work and knowing the audience that goes to each platform. So like in terms of this film works a lot better going to film festivals as opposed to just being streamed off of like Amazon or Hulu. So I think it's just a matter of knowing your work and the audience you're trying to go for.
All right, well, if there's no other questions, I want to, again, give a round of applause to our artists. And then also a big thank you to Candela, our host today. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Ashby, for being here. And so the day continues, the art continues.